This video is an introduction to the paper that we have written to express our support for the ELCA and to challenge and dispel misinformation that was spread in our former congregation that is now withdrawn from the ELCA.
My name is Barbara Kirk. I'm a lifelong Lutheran and have belonged to 5 different Lutheran churches, all of which were part of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America and its predecessor, the Lutheran Church in America. I was baptized in a Lutheran church. We were married in a Lutheran service. My ministry experience includes the areas of Christian education, coordination of the classes, Sunday school, fellowship, church council member, mission teams, and community outreach, especially for people with developmental disabilities. I have attended many adult programs at Luther Ridge and retreats at Camp Kynard.
I'm Jim Kirk. I've been a Lutheran for over 45 years. My ministry areas have included Christian education coordination, presentation of family night programs, and adult Sunday school classes, church council member, and outreach ministries. Barb and I initiated and directed fellowship programs for adults with developmental disabilities at 2 of our churches.
An historic Columbia, South Carolina church that we have now left has undergone a major change over the past year, with a decision to disaffiliate from the ELCA and to join the North American Lutheran Church, or the NALC. Following the church's constitution, 2 congregation meetings to vote on the proposal to leave the ELCA were held, and subsequently to join the NALC. Both votes passed by the required 2/3 eligible and present voting members, with the second vote passing by only 6 votes. The South Carolina Synod Council endorsed this disaffiliation at its February meeting.
We developed our paper in response to a document that the leaders of this shift prepared and distributed to selected congregation members to promote this major change. Our paper shows that much of the information presented by this group is based on unsubstantiated opinions, unproven and weak criticisms of the ELCA, cherry-picked Bible references such as those pertaining to sexual activity, and isolated examples that do not pertain to our former church. Here are 3 examples from that paper. The implication that the ELCA was attempting to replace Thanksgiving with the National Day of Mourning, which actually relates to the ELCA's honoring a Native Indian event just before Thanksgiving. That's one example. A second one was numerous references to same-sex marriages, which were prohibited by our former church's constitution and would not have even happened in that church. A third example was a feminist church in San Francisco that modified the Lord's Prayer to refer to God as our mother. Our paper points out that the Bible includes many references to God in feminist terms, and that our church would not consider changing the words of the Lord's Prayer from our Father to our Mother. One church member led the campaign to convince members that it was essential that the church move quickly to leave the ELCA. The alleged urgency included the false assertion that the Synod was going to confiscate all of the church's financial and facility assets. This person indicated that the effort to disaffiliate had been in the works for at least 2 years. Last year, I was a member of the church council for the full year, and a substantial majority of the council members knew nothing about this until almost halfway through the year. A key part of the strategy was to distribute a document that the leader of the effort compiled entitled, "What is Going On with the ELCA Today?"
Our paper to respond to the ELCA criticism has 3 sections and 3 appendices. The 3 sections address reasons for remaining in the ELCA, principal areas of concern offered by our church members pushing this change, and a summary of our responses to the areas of concern. The 3 appendices present the details that led to our writing the paper, the specific information about the ELCA presented to our former congregation members, and the likely sources of the misinformation included in various websites. We followed central themes, too, especially in responding to the criticisms of the ELCA with a focus on Jesus' teachings. The two greatest commandments according to Christ in Matthew 22. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And Jesus taught us that our neighbor includes people who don't look or act, think or worship as we do. Perhaps they don't live in our neighborhood or even in the same part of the world as we do. Second, we were all children of God, and we were all created in God's image, as found in the 3rd chapter of 1 John. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. Underlying our responses is the key commandment to love one another that Jesus gave us in John 13. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another.
In conclusion, what has been the strategy used by those supporting disaffiliation, and what has been the immediate impact of disaffiliation on our former church? The other part of the strategy to achieve successful votes on the proposal was to stack the congregation on the Sundays of the votes. Any number of inactive members made their appearance to support the disaffiliation effort, and even adult children of active members attended to add to the vote count. One long-time active member of the church counted over 20 members that he'd never seen at church. The strategy was successful in skewing the vote in favor of the proposal. This year-long disaffiliation effort left the church without a permanent pastor since January of 2025, and that has continued into 2026. This transition created a cold, unwelcoming atmosphere that hindered worship for those opposing the move. The congregation lacked a consistent pastoral presence after the interim pastor resigned due to negative comments from various members. This void meant that those in need, including grieving families, did not receive necessary pastoral care. Additionally, key activities like Wednesday night services, Bible studies, and meals were discontinued through that whole year. Consequently, many active, lifelong members have left for other ELCA congregations, threatening the church's future ministry areas.
We pray that church will be able to recover from this major shift and to maintain and restore the energy and the positive feelings that we experienced when we first joined the church. We urge you to take the time to read the paper that we've developed so that you might anticipate similar criticisms of the ELCA that can be challenged. It's comprehensive, as we intentionally responded to all of the points made in the paper developed by those supporting disaffiliation. As your time permits, I'd urge you to review at least the first 6 pages, which summarize the detailed appendices. What is our desired outcome? In short, we hope that people will take the time to become personally informed rather than accepting all presented facts as true. When considering whether to disaffiliate from the ELCA, we hope that members will consider the many relationships within their congregation and how those various relationships would be impacted by disaffiliation.